Yeah.
What's going on? Why can't I? All right, so let's start off this pre-show. Welcome, ladies and gents, to the UPSL Summer League. This is E.F.C versus Shrek 5, the musical, and we've got a little bit of a pre-show before we start off. So let's get into it.
All right, hey everyone. This is Deep Dap Kapoor, and I'll be doing some play-by-play shoutcasting tonight with Dan. Dan is Dan SSPM Souster Sao, and he's going to be doing mostly analysis-based shoutcasting. And we're going to get right ahead and talk about the game tonight. And hope you guys have a good time.
All right, so let's start off by discussing the teams. We have E.F.C sporting why did I get kicked by the... What the hell? Why did I get kicked?
From what?
Why am I not in the team select?
Oh, you are. Your client might be lagging.
I'm confused. I can't see anything. It'll be all you.
Oh, well, one sec.
Are you guys in champ
Let me
select
just
or team select? What the hell?
They're in neither. They're still in team select. They're arranging the custom game.
Did I get kicked?
I still see you here.
I don't see anything. I'm gonna restart client. But in the meantime,
Yeah, restart the client, and let's get to the show till then, I guess.
Alright, so so you take over with the lineups on each team.
Hi. One sec. I'm just pulling up the info. I'm also going to post a link on the group so people can watch this.
Yeah, definitely.
Tonight, E.F.C. Alright, so do you have the slideshow running? I shut off the stream, so...
It's good. We're ready.
Alright, let's do this. I don't know if you have the slideshow up, because I turned off the stream.
It's ready. It's good to go.
Sweet, just go to the first slide. Alright guys, so good evening once again. As Dan already introduced us, we're going to be doing the cast for tonight's game, which is E.F.C versus CLG Hype Train, also known as Shrek 5 the Musical. We'll be referring to them as Shrek 5 from now on, because I think Ben wants to change their name to that. So on the blue side tonight, we have E.F.C. E.F.C's lineup, from what we've heard, will be top lane Beta Ray Bill, jungle Atihane, mid Melon Mochi, most probably. ADC will be JJ Bros and JL, and their support will be No We Know, I believe. Sorry, No We Nino. And that's what they'd originally planned on playing, based on the information that was given to us before the game. But right now, as we can see in Team Select, Nicholas1024 is actually here, who is their captain, and Melon Mochi is not. So most likely, they're going to be anticipating some sort of change in their lineup. Most of the players are quite versatile, so this could go one way or another in terms of how they want to set it up. But top lane will most likely be occupied by Beta Ray Bill. Nicholas1024 played AD carry in the past, but he's also known for playing support. JJ Bros and JL can play jungle as well as AD carry. He played jungle in the one game that they played before, but he could most likely be going bot lane with Nicholas if that's what they want to do this time. And Atihane is their highest ranked player at the moment at Diamond 5. He will most likely be jungling, though he has recently been playing mid. So either of those things could happen. In terms of what we expect to see, I think that given how their skill sets match up. Oh wait, they just traded another player, Randy Moss. Okay, Randy Moss will most likely be going mid. Beta Ray could go top. JJ Bros and JL and Nicholas1024 will probably be AD carry and support respectively in the bot lane, and Atihane will be most likely jungling from what we expect to see tonight. Do you want to add anything to that?
Let's go to the other side because we gotta make this quick. On the other hand, we have CLG, also known as Shrek 5 the Musical. We have the captain Evangelion, probably going mid lane. Penguin, probably going top lane. Changwon Li, and random guy who's subbing in for Karpusin, going AD carry and support and AD carry respectively. and Mister is rounding out the lineup by playing the jungle position.
So in terms of like, for all of you who are watching, you might have also realized that there was a patch today, and the patch may be influencing how these guys decide on picking their particular champions and playing. Most noticeably, though, is the changes for Kale in this game, because both Evangelion on purple side as well as Variable on blue side have a Kale pick could be expected had there not been any changes today. But as you may have already seen today, Kale has been nerfed. Her attack speed and her ability power scaling ratios on her E were reduced by half, I believe, and that may or may not be enough to warrant changes in champion pools. Any further thoughts on that?
We have to start this game.
Oh God!
So let's get right into the pick and ban, and during the pause we'll talk more about like the patch and the key players. So immediately we see a Swain ban targeting Evangelion. And on
the first ban from purple side is Annie.
This is
that could
probably targeting Melon Mochi. Wait, Melon Mochi's not playing.
Yeah.
Randy Moss.
Yeah, Randy Moss goes Nidalee mid from what we've seen in the past, but he also plays Annie, so it's most likely toward that.
I really want to see if Randy Moss can step up his performance from last time. I was streaming the last game when they played CLG Hype Train Junior, and we didn't see any form of mana regen on Nidalee, and at crucial areas of the game, she didn't have any mana and continuously play.
Well, we've had the next round of bans. Kale came in from blue side and Yasuo from purple. The Kale is most likely targeted toward Evangelion. His champion pool, most people joke, is basically 4. Lulu, Sui.
And TP cut out again. Alright, so I'm going to take over. Yeah, Evangelion, very strong player, very good mid laner, but very limited champion pool, and fucking deep Skype crash. What the hell's going on? But Swain, Kale, Lulu, and I would say Orianna are his big champions.
I think my internet kind of went off. Are you showing Champ Select on the stream?
Yep, welcome back. We've got a Lucian ban coming out and targeting Random Guy, who I believe is going to be subbing in as AD carry. And wow, they left Kassadin open for
Evangelion, yeah. But they did ban Nidalee, who's what we've seen Randy Moss on previously, so
yeah, so it looks
that
like
might force
they're really targeting Randy Moss. I would say that blue side is probably should first pick a Kassadin, and they don't.
So the Morgana serves 2 purposes here, aside from the fact that it's an incredibly strong support. I know Nicholas1024 usually plays Nami, but has also been playing Morgana. It also stops Changwon Leet from picking Morgana, who he had an incredibly strong performance on.
They gave... I think they just gave him Kassadin. I don't know why they are doing this. I mean...
But yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't pick Kassadin here. It's pretty obvious that that would be a priority pick for their team, and they're just going to pick it up.
Kassadin, a much improved mid laner, like in lane, due to the changes. Pretty strong game, not quite as like I'm gonna silence you and then instantly give you as before, but very, very scary late game. Can build tanky, can build pure damage, really versatile, really strong.
They've also left open Shyvana, which seems to be Penguin's comfort pick, so we might see that coming in.
Oh, it looks like they're gonna pick AD carry first though. Maybe he wants to counter pick since they do have the counter pick advantage.
Okay, so they do lock in the Tristana, so it's most likely going to be their AD carry. Who might be Random Guy in today's game, considering he's a substitute, since they don't have Carpus like you already.
I'm very surprised they didn't pick Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is just such a strong laner, such a good all-around champion in this meta, that's focused around IE Rush. And
so
there's that
so leaving Kassadin for Evangelion is basically the same as leaving Nocturne for Athene. He's like an absolute beast on this champion, knows him in and out, and will be a giant threat at any stage in the game if they allow this pick to go through.
And they don't really have a choice. If he wants it, he's going to get it. Meanwhile, we see a Orianna, a safe laner, good to CSing, really strong team fighting potential, pretty safe champion in general, and I think that's going to Randy Moss. And looks like they're going to lock these two in unless they troll us last minute. Yep, that's what it is.
So that's they're setting up like the Nocturne ball delivery system here because Nocturne can dive straight into the enemy carries, unstoppable, and Oriana's ult will that way like directly get in contact with the enemy's carries. So it's a pretty reliable way of um, getting Oriana's ultimate onto like the appropriate people.
So it was really good of them to pick Morgana away from Changwon Li, who made some spectacular plays in some of their games earlier. But he's gonna get he or she is gonna get Thresh paired with Tristana. It's gonna buffer the mediocre landing phase of Tristana, help her with the mid game where she's really weak, and generally be a really annoying champion to peel this Nocturne off.
They do pick Jarvan. So that may be a top lane pick or a jungle pick. I've seen Penguin play Jarvan top. I have not seen Mr. play Jarvan much in the jungle, except last season, and that was also pretty rare. So that actually might be top Jarvan. We saw that coming out in a previous game with CLG Junior. So that's definitely a possibility, which would leave Xin Zhao, who's Mr.'s usual main open, for him to pick.
And there's the Caitlyn. That's going to be going to JJ Bros and G. Nicholas will be supporting Beta Real Bill and Nasus. That's pretty interesting. That's a little bit more meta, I would say, the Rise. Nasus just takes a really long time to scale up, just like Rise, but Nasus just doesn't do the same.
Right. I don't think that this was very intelligent pick and ban phasing from Purple Team. This is one of the things that I was going to point out in our pre-show, is that this game is going to depend a lot on the pick and ban phase because a lot of these people have pretty explicit comfort champions. And I think Purple side kind of messed up by banning the Annie and the Yasuo, considering that, sure, Yasuo might be a comfort pick for Beta Ray Bill, but he hasn't been playing it that much recently. It might have been much more important to ban out the Nocturne, for example. And also, like, it's a well-known fact that JJ's main champions are Caitlyn and Ezreal is not that strong in the current meta. So I think that Purple side could have gone about better doing this.
For sure. Although I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and give them the chance to say, we know that they're going to want these champions. We're going to give it to them. We want them to pick this because we're prepared for it. We're going to plan a strategy against this. So they do have the Thresh, really great disengage, but I think a Nami would be better. Wow.
Okay, so that
is an Aurelia.
Jarvan jungle, I guess, for Mr.
Aurelia is considered by many to be a hard counter to Rise. Rise doesn't hit his power spike as early as Aurelia, and Aurelia can just take over a game.
So in regards to what you just said about Purple Team playing like their enemies' preferences, I do have to say that that's definitely something we should take into consideration because I was talking to Ben after our game versus them, and he said that, yeah, we knew you guys would pick Ziggs if we left it open for Colin, Hard163, who's the mid laner of CLG Junior, and we decided to pick Lulu into it and see if we could play around it. So maybe, yeah, they're going meta on this shit, and they might actually have this on purpose in a sense and think that they can outplay the comp that's in front of them.
Right, so let's talk about these comps. Blue side is definitely going to want a team fight and has some pick potential with this Nocturne, with this Morgana. They can jump on someone, lock them down, kill them. On the other hand, Nocturne, as you already pointed out, is a great ball delivery system. And then Rise is going to just come in, snare everyone once they've been sent up by the shockwave. Wait, really? Nicholas 1024 is going mid. I just noticed that. Yeah. I just noticed this. I really thought he was going to be playing Morgana. So we're going to get to see the captain's mid lane ability.
So that lane is going to be the hardest for him, I think, because it's not really something he plays a lot. From at least what I see on the spreadsheet, he tends to be a bot laner, and Evangelion is definitely like the key player on the Purple Team.
Yeah, 1024 is a plat player, so I'm sure he's had experience playing all the different lanes, but he is definitely a support and AD carry main, probably preferring support just a little bit more. And let's see how well he does in this new role. There's a lot of magic damage on this team, a lot of AoE ability. Caitlyn's going to stay safe, snipe things. And let's talk about the purple team, though. We haven't talked about them as much, I think.
So I think that they have like a really good engage as well as disengage. As you already pointed out, Thresh has like some excellent peel mechanics. But on top of that, like they have the Aurelia and the Jarvan going in, and an incredibly mobile champion in the mid lane, Kassadin. So they definitely have the ability to take advantage of the picks that they're going to have with the Aurelia stun and the hook from Thresh. So I think that even though both the sides have pretty good scaling, a lot of this game is going to depend on how these guys play the early game. And I think that the early game advantage is slightly on the purple side, considering that, like you already said, in the top lane, Penguin's going to reach a spike higher than Beta Ray Bill is. On top of that, like Thresh has the ability to make picks in all over the map if he wants to. Tristana is incredibly mobile. Cassidy is incredibly mobile. We have the TP coming in from Aurelia, and Jarvan obviously has his EQ combo as well as his ult and a flash on top of that. So that's like three huge gap closers that he can use to lock up the enemy team.
Right.
So,
speaking of those gap closers, if we look at purple side, they're so mobile. Cassidy, we already know. Do you even rift? Tristana's going to be jumping, getting resets. Jarvan's got his EQ, got flash. Penguin's just going to be dashing to champions, killing things, dashing. And of course, we have Thresh, the best instant repositioner in the entire game with that.
And Trist's reset jumps, right? So every single one of them has some
everyone can get over walls. Everyone's going to be really moving around and making it really hard for Nicholas 1024 to hit those shockwaves.
I really hope that we see some dunk squad kind of stuff coming in with Jarvan's ult followed by like Tristana's ult, Tristana leaping in or something. That'd be pretty cool. They'd have a nice combination there. So we're just about to enter the loading screen in a few seconds. Do you want to hop on to log access or something, and we can check out this guy's runes to see if there's anything interesting?
Sure.
I posted the link on the doc. So while we're waiting for that to come up, this is the first time two teams that either don't have 100% or win rate, like one of the teams playing hasn't won every single one of its games. Because so far what we've seen, every single team has either won every single game or lost every single game. So this is the first time we're going to have some percentage diversity in terms of like win rates. So that's kind of cool. Secondly, it is Changwon Lee's birthday tonight. So the support player of Purple Side, shout outs to him. Happy birthday. Wish him after the game if you haven't already. What a way to spend his birthday, right? Playing UPSL for all of our entertainment.
All right, so let's go over these. So we have Nocturne with attack speed, magic resist per level, armor, and AD. Going to be clearing pretty quickly with 2163. A lot of offense here. Caitlyn going standard attack speed, quints, and like AD, MR per level, armor, and such. Generic AP, generic top lane rise build with a lot of move speed, health regen, armor, tanky stats, and pretty standard Thresh stuff here. Let's see. Evangelion with standard AP mid stuff. Penguin running AD, cooldown, mana regen, armor, and health. Surprised we don't see magic resist, unless they're not intending to.
Mana regen is actually interesting. I don't think I've seen that before.
It definitely runs into these mana problems, though, so that could be important, but I'm really surprised that it's just no magic resist from the runes.
But he only has enough for one mana regen additional per 5 seconds. So it's not even that significant, right? Yeah. Considering like her lowest mana cost is 30, that would still be a hell of a lot of time. It'd be like 150 seconds before she'd make up that mana additional with these runes.
So important for farming,
right? So yeah, I actually agree with you there. I wish we had seen some more magic resist instead. Would have been arguably more like efficient in terms of the runes.
And yeah, so the other three are pretty standard. Crit chance, a little bit of crit chance, 80 attack speed, armor, magic resist per level. Pretty standard stuff.
So what do you think about the jungle changes in the patch? How's that going to affect the builds? Because I doubt it's going to change what Nocturne does, right? He's either going to opt for the this Spirit of the Elder Lizard, or he's going to go for the Fair Flare, depending on what the team game is like. But Jarvan now has options, because he can build the Spirit of the Ancient Golem or the Elder Lizard, depending on how he wants to go. Regardless, we're in the game here. Everybody's opted to take a yellow trinket except for Nocturne, who started out with the red trinket. And we see a split of 3 and 2. 3 people heading toward their respective blue buffs and 2 toward their red. So it seems like Jarvan will be joining his team in the bot lane. Kassadin drops a ward. Tristana's heading towards this brush, but won't be going in. I don't think any of these teams are looking to invade. I think they're just trying to get map presence and get some wards down. We do see random guy heading towards the tri-brush in the bot lane. I don't know if they're planning on invading. I need to see. Thresh has not leveled up any skill yet. That's usually a giveaway if he's taken hook. Because you can usually figure out if he's planning on invading. Did you get a chance to fix the champion order at the bottom?
Yep. First thing I did.
Nice. Boss. Okay, so we do see Thresh and Tristana like sitting here in the tri-brush. I doubt they're going to go for a buff, though it seems like they're pinging the golems. They might just sit here as a trap because the enemy bot lane doesn't know that they're here.
Right. So both sides with fairly conservative wording, and wow, Tristana and Thresh moving up pretty quickly. Let's see if do they have vision. Yes, they do. They do have vision, so they know that they've already gone to lane. They're probably going to go back through the tri-bush and back around through the river to lane. And see if they try to make a pick using the LOS here.
Both the junglers started blue buff. Nocturne can start both blue and red. Red would give him probably a faster clear, but blue would be he would take less damage doing it with blue buff because his spells come up faster. Regardless, it doesn't matter as much for Nocturne as it does for Jarvan, because Jarvan's definitely more gank oriented as a jungler. So starting from the bottom side of the map is more imperative for him. Irelia is already dashing in, using her Q. Bot lane, Morgana, we see lands a Q onto Thresh, but they just trade a little bit on the ADCs. Yeah. Tristana's dot is doing a significant amount of damage here to Caitlyn. She's already brought down to half health.
And let's see, they're about to hit level 2 with this kill, and let's see if they want to do anything right in this really short power spike window.
So we see Thresh advancing, and the hooks onto Morgana.
Wow, all in on
she actually misses the jump, gets exhausted, she's attacking Caitlyn at the moment, Caitlyn gets ignited, the heal comes on, and they do get first
blood. Yeah, taking Ignite there for that kill was pretty crucial. And making sure the heal didn't do enough.
The Ignite went down, and the Exhaust also went down for Morgana, but that wasn't enough. Kate burnt heal, but so did Trist, and that was just about enough to get the kill under the turret. So great job by purple side there. There was a slight sort of confusion because Thresh sort of went in on the Morgana, because that's where his hook went, but I think Tristana and him had communicated that they would be going on the Caitlyn.
We're going to see a mid lane gank, at least maybe just chilling up. Make the presence, make his lane.
So Jarvan comes in, he lands his EQ, and Orianna flashes him. That would have been a knock-up for sure, and that could have been ugly.
Yep. Evangelion has chosen to take Ignite over something maybe like Teleport. Definitely looking for a bit of a lane pressure. Forces Orianna to go back, puts the ward, and he's going to get the power.
So Jarvan has
3 health spots. That's pretty big.
Jarvan has a lot of, he needs to do a lot right now. Or as much as he can, because considering he's against a Nocturne, somebody who can just farm up and will be strong scaling into late game, he needs to either put pressure on the map through ganks or through counter jungling or making plays with his team, because he needs to compensate for the fact that his damage won't scale as much as Nocturne's, and he won't have an easy time demolishing carries as a fed Nocturne would. So I think that there's a lot of pressure on Mizra here. So he is coming bot right now. Thresh lands a hook on Morgana.
Wow.
The hook was missed. The play lands. Random guy jumps in. The black shoe is going to come in, but it seems like Tristana is going to pick up the kill here on Morgana. At the same time, Jarvan is still pursuing Caitlyn, but he takes a lot of damage. But nobody else goes down except the Morgana there. Though a lot of people are brought down.
While that was happening, Ryze had pushed a really large minion wave.
Oh!
Oh my goodness.
White Camp. MVP. That just happened. Diamond 5 struggles.
But anyway, as I was saying, Ryze had pushed up a really large minion wave through the lane up against Penguin, even though the CS numbers are pretty low. pretty even. Penguin is really low now. He's in trouble. He could get dove here. A flash in response. Wow, he ate a lot of turret aggro. He's fighting in the minion wave. This is a good bait by Penguin. Great bait.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, he was eating so much minion aggro there.
You see Jarvan circling around mid lane again. He does know Orianna's flash is down. He still has red buff. They get the slow. They get the knock up on red buff. She's definitely dead here. Well played by Mizder there, knowing that the flash was down and realizing that the Orianna was still pushed up without proper wards.
Yeah. Jarvan being really kind there, giving Kassadin the ability to scale that out skill, knowing that Kassadin just scales ridiculously in the game, and this one laning phase is really good. Finding misses there. Both teams pretty even in farm, exception of mid. But
finding lands on Thresh, but I doubt they're going to do anything about that. He's too far in. Gold difference is already starting to emerge though.
Those 4 kills are really big.
Almost 2,000 gold in 6 minutes. So we see Kassadin rotating top. I don't think Ryze knows. Yep, Kassadin gets the jump on him with his ultimate, lands the slow. Irelia decides to go and land this stun, uses her ultimate, does a lot of damage, and the ignite will secure the kill.
Is he gonna go down to the tower? Yeah, he didn't. I guess he didn't have a dash. So
that's unfortunate. He used the dash to get to Ryze and didn't get the reset. The cooldown is pretty high at this point in the game. So yeah. Well, I guess still worth for purple because they got the additional assist gold, and this is helping snowball Evangelion, who is like their highest rated player, most likely to be making the plays in this game for them. So overall, I'd still say worth for purple side, considering Ryze is already behind. He got dove, so the minion wave was already pushing towards him. He's already used teleport to get back to lane 1, so he won't be able to recuperate from that as easily. So it's gonna hurt.
Something really important. Nocturne is reluctant to go for Reyna's Nocturne, and he was already at 6, so it's really important for him to make a He secures blue buff for himself.
Morgana lands a
looks like Nocturne is gonna go down to this Jarvan unless they can use him.
I think Jarvan won't be able to catch him because Ryze is also coming in.
Yeah, and he also doesn't have his ultimate, so he can't just.
The Ryze might be actually able to pick up the kill on Jarvan here.
He uses his ultimate. Wow, Nocturne driving in really far. So you can get away. Good snare. Aurelia's tenacity is not as powerful. Looks like he's gonna get away.
Nocturne will have his Q up at any point now, and great play from blue side there. Good communication, letting Ryze know that he should come down, and then taking full advantage of that with the Nocturne ultimate. Meanwhile, we see Kassadin. He bullied Nicholas out of his lane and has started pushing up pretty quickly, getting some good damage onto the mid turret. It's already down to half health. So we see Kassadin looking to roam top again. There are no wards in the river, so Ryze doesn't actually know that he's coming up. Meanwhile, Jarvan opts to take his own blue buff because Kassadin is making the roam. So yeah, Kassadin will be coming in anytime. Aurelia gets a slowdown on Ryze. Ryze will turn around, try and fight Aurelia. Kassadin comes in, gets a slow, gets a kill, and Aurelia picks up the kill.
Good, because Penguin has elected to go for the first gear instead of rushing Triclos as many ways to do. And that Cutlass is instrumental in keeping the Ryze in place so that Kassadin can come up there and get some assist over there.
So Jarvan's going to see Orianna right now while he's placing this ward. What's great about Mizder's plays, as we've seen in previous games, is that he has a very heavy emphasis toward getting early dragons. So I think he actually kind of wanted to do that because he was wandering around there for a little bit, and he knew Nocturne's up was down. Aurelia's teleport was also down, and since Kassadin was top, I think they realized that they shouldn't do it. But I think we should be expecting some dragon play soon, given how the two teams play.
Especially with how the bot lane is doing right now. They're up 2 kills, and Tristana's also up in CS in addition to that. So you don't normally see Tristana with a big lead like this early in the game, and it's going to help her through that U-shaped power spike.
So Nocturne actually... Nocturne actually came bot for a little bit, but I'm not sure why, considering his ult is not up. The lane gank isn't really as efficient. Orianna's taking some severe harass from Kassadin. She's constantly kept under half health, and Nocturne's not really a threat until his ultimate's back up. So we see Kassadin and Jarvan roaming top, I believe. Though this time Ryze has learned his lesson and has avoided the river. Though it seems like they're going for a dive under the turret. This is kind of ham. I'm not sure how this is.
I don't know if they can get this. Oh, he's going to be spotted by the ward now.
So he just
might be too late.
Aurelia gets her stun off. They get the slow off. Ryze still doesn't have his. Well, Ryze actually had his flash there, but I think he thought it wasn't worth using, considering they have dashes. But the first pause does come in. Might be that the Ryze lagged.
Oh, immediately incoming. That's interesting.
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't check with both teams if they were ready. They should usually be doing that, but we've had some interesting pause cases with E.F.C already.
That was a bit controversial. And
so Jarvan decides to go in with a dive, gets the ultimate on Nocturne. He will probably go down to the turret, but Aurelia... Oh no, so what happened is Aurelia didn't pick up the kill, so the red buff kind of just died off with Jarvan. If Jarvan could have somehow managed to give Aurelia that kill, that would have been pretty damn good. But regardless, again...
TP up to stop Aurelia from getting more tower damage.
So bot lane is looking to make an engage. Thresh has a flash play, but he won't be getting his ultimate off.
Thresh is so low right now, and Orianna's going to come in.
Yep, slash Q from Orianna secures the kill. I think they'll be going for the Trist, but she managed to jump out of the range of the binding. They don't really have you on the arch.
That's a good shot.
They get the exhaust, but Trist is quick to flash out of there. To survive.
So it was really important that Trist wasn't able to successfully block that ace in the hole because it meant that they were really low and they couldn't escape. Tristana still had healed. They could have made it out as a pair, but instead, Tristana was pushed away.
Jarvan's
coming forward. Just a bit of pressure.
Here, he doesn't have his ult now, but he just lands the EQ to get them out. So it should be noted that there's still 3 people from blue side here versus 2, but Thresh is making his way back to lane. He's already had the chance to regen back to full. Morgana lands the binding, lands the W. The lantern has been dropped, but it doesn't really take her far. Jarvan decides to re-engage. Thresh lands the play onto Morgana.
Jarvan is making so far behind the action.
Lands onto Orianna, and they get the ignite. Orianna will be going down here for sure. Thresh picks up the kill. Yeah, birthday kill for Thresh. With his ignite securing that for him. Jarvan decides to re-engage onto Kaylin. Tristana jumps in, but they're not going to do much with that because I think Kaylin was able to dodge the knockup.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
there was a
he's gonna
kill.
Die. No, he's not. Great flash. Not quite enough. He thought it was going to be enough. Looks like Kassadin's going to get away. Jarvan's coming forward, and looks like Jarvan's
probably going to die here actually because Ryze is going to have his W up. Jarvan
he still managed to EQ even through the snare. He's getting chased.
I think he's gonna die.
Oh, what a great juke! Wow, these Thresh plays.
Highlight worthy stuff. Morgana is making her way up though, and she does have her ultimate.
They might have bit off a little bit more than they can chew. Tristana's gonna go down.
But she's gonna go down. Yeah. Wow, that could have been 3 kills for Ryze and ended up being just 1. Very well played from purple side.
Blue side is going for the dragon while Jarvan is low on health and mana.
Ryze is taken pretty low from the dragon, so he's probably going to choose to back here while the rest of the team finishes this.
Yep,
either jungler is here. Either jungler is here, so.
Let's go back to that skirmish before when Jarvan and Thresh went forward. Tristana had actually stepped on a trap near the tower and wasn't able to get any assist gold there. Also, would have maybe been able to pick up a little bit more than just a kill on Orianna. So we'll never really know, but yeah, that's Tristana like getting into late game is super important. Look how low this mid tower is. I'm surprised that Evangelion doesn't just go.
Are you back to live? 14 minutes. 14 minutes.
Yep, I didn't go back. I was just.
Oh, okay. So Kassadin, again, playing really aggressively against Orianna, constantly keeping under half health. That allows her from making the same kind of roam that he is, because he's significantly tankier than she is, and he can handle the harass he receives in return for delivering. You're going to notice that the dragon is gone. They're not going to have the exact timer, but they know approximately when it went down, because they obviously know that blue team took it when they had the advantage after the fight. Jarvan is kind of caught out here in the middle of Orianna and Nocturne, and they're going to notice him. Morgana is already making a move. Nocturne is going to go for the fear, lands the fear. Orianna loses her ultimate. Nocturne is doing heavy amounts of damage and secures the kill. He could have given that to Orianna, I think.
Yeah.
But
it is nice for Nocturne to get ahead and just like dive without impunity.
So Nocturne has his ult up and Orianna's walking towards bot lane. I think they're going to try and make a play, but they've been spotted out by this ward. Regardless, I think they're going to try and make a play.
Interesting that Jarvan used to smite on the red buff, even though he knew he was going to die, and just give the red buff anyway. So I think, maybe it was worth it for getting the gold, but I mean...
I think Morgana is looking for binding here because Nocturne is still waiting with his ultimate.
Yeah, Nocturne waiting in the wings, definitely in range to dive this, and wow, maybe Morgana's just gonna go for ult.
No, uses the Black Shield to bait. Here comes Nocturne. I think they're gonna try and... Exhaust has been dropped.
Really lit.
They pop the Tristana. Binding does land on the Thresh. Nocturne will probably pay for his...
Good
oh my god.
Great
what a flash. Great flash. Nocturne saves him, but we were able to pick up a double kill because of that. So really good patience on Morgana's side actually, because she just popped the shield and didn't do anything, just sort of walked up and baited the enemy team into... Oh, so we see an engagement lane. Jarvan and Kassadin against Orianna and Ryze.
Yeah, double knockup?
And gets the knock-up on Orianna. They'll get the kill, lands the ult on Ryze. Kassadin's taken really low, but he's going to leave. I think Jarvan's going to be left to pick up this kill. Jarvan picks up the double kill. Great flash from Jarvan there, closing that distance, as we were talking about earlier, so that he could come in with his EQ and get the knock-up right in time for Kassadin to do damage to Orianna, separating Orianna and Ryze with his ultimate.
Yeah, so if we look at the gold right now, Ryze is really behind. Really behind.
So Orianna gets into Nocturne jungle, sorry to interrupt you, gets the stun onto Nocturne, chooses to flash, uses the cutlass, will slow Nocturne down. Nocturne's going to lose his red buff here to Aurelia. She gets one more out of that. Caitlyn, she dives back, picks up the kill, but she's probably going to go down to the Caitlyn here, and she does.
Not really worth it. Giving a shutdown bonus to Caitlyn, who already has a pretty good mid game right now with that Infinity Edge. Going to pick up attack speed and more crit soon, and going to be pretty scary to deal with.
I think Penguin got a little hungry for blood there, considering he definitely could have avoided the flash and just kind of gone on.
Yeah, he'd made such an investment, he didn't want to leave empty-handed. He used his own flash, and they trade 1 for 1. Not necessarily worth it.
So we see Jarvan back in...
Look at this. Way to the Rune King, X-Drinker. No tank items here.
Jarvan's kind of coming in from the wing of mid, but he'll be spotted out by Ward. The enemy team is starting to push, getting a lot of damage down on Kassadin, which will leave them free to do damage to this turret. I don't know if they'll be able to take it down, though, with this wave. Yeah, they're not. They're going to wait for another wave, but it's still a 3 versus 2 mid. Jarvan decides to go back in with the red buff. He EQs, misses the knock-up. Orianna flash. I think that was a bit of a panic flash.
Yeah.
Could have done that.
Definitely scared of Kassadin right now. Pretty strong with the Rod of Aegis already and the
but they do
red
have...
buff on Caitlyn is doing work.
Yeah, Kassadin's like really taking damage. A binding lands on Jarvan, but they're not going to do anything with that.
Kassadin is so low.
Jarvan goes back in, gets a knock-up from Morgana, getting her to the tank to turret.
They're
but
desperately trying to save this tower, but it's not quite enough. The 2 of them are not able to repel this.
Tristana and Thresh are coming up from bot lane, but they're kind of late for this, I think. Yeah, so the blue side is just choosing to back together, which is pretty smart, because they know that the dragon should be up soon, and as we do see the timer for dragon, 1 minute coming up, and with if they do get to back and shop right now, as purple side has, they're going to be much better equipped to win a fight a dragon and secure it, as compared to blue side, who hasn't really done much. Nocturne's still at the top side of the jungle, so I don't know what they're looking to do, but Nocturne has his ultimate up, farming the white cap, may make a move towards Aurelia here. Ryze goes in, lands the binding, lands the Q, just putting down some harass, but Nocturne really doesn't follow up just yet. They should be aware that the dragon is spawning, but Morgana is also coming, so they're investing a lot. Nocturne uses his ultimate, goes on to Aurelia. Here will go down, binding does go down, this will be a kill. Nocturne picks up a kill. Dragon is spawning in 20 seconds. They should probably consider that, or choose to exchange it for a turret. But I think the fight is moving topside. Jarvan and Kassadin have also come top. They may try and defend this turret from the 3-man push that we're seeing.
So let's talk about the gold difference here. Way ahead of his mid lane counterpart, up in farm, up in kills, up in assists, and it's reflected by his items, by his gold lead. Same goes with Aurelia to Ryze here, and the Twitch chat is going crazy right now.
So Thresh misses a hook bot. and Dragon has respawned. So we're probably going to see some sort of movement towards that.
Let's see, Ryan's going to take this blue buff.
Orianna's coming bot. She's going to cast it Tristana out here. Yeah, so kind of just walk away from each other, but Kassadin is also nearby. Yeah, purple side instead opt to go for the dragon, which is probably a smart play here, considering blue side doesn't have any vision inside the pit.
They might be able to rush this down before the jungler can get here and smite, and yep. Smite secure.
Good stuff for purple team securing the second dragon. That's one for each team now. Gold is pretty close. Hasn't really so Nocturne is still keeping the red buff. I think that he kind of wants to carry this, going for the Feral Flare Bork. That build was incredibly scary when Feral Flare still initially came out. They decreased the ramp up time of Feral Flare. Sorry, increased the ramp up time to nerf it, bringing down Nocturne's his incredible damage slightly by delaying it. But those two items and then a straight tank Nocturne is still pretty damn scary for most carries.
Jarvan's going to secure his red buff. I'm surprised, speaking of Jarvan, that he isn't using the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, which recently got buffed.
Rather decides to
not using the health stack.
Nocturne is here, so I think they're going to dive this. They land the binding, land the fear, and they're going to pick up the kill.
Let's see if Jarvan can clean up 1v2.
I don't know why Jarvan is going into this. I think this is pretty suicidal.
I think there's too much damage on this Nocturne. And on this Rise. There it is.
That was unfortunate, and what we know about Mizra is he tilts, so...
Let's see. Yeah, back to the original point though, I'm surprised he didn't build Spirit of the Ancient Golem, because this team really needs a tank. Irelia is not building tank yet, has 2 damage items, has Boots of Tenacity, not really what you would call tank.
Phage. She just picked up a Phage, so it's not like...
Yeah, so she's definitely not going tanky, she looks like she's going for Triforce next.
What's that ward skin? There's some ward skin right there.
Where?
Somebody just dropped a ward. It looked really pretty. I don't think I've seen it before.
Victorious ward skin?
I don't know. It had I think it was the championship.
Oh,
the championship one for LCS. So, farm differences. Anything Stark that you'd like to point out?
Mid lane is still pretty wide. The gap hasn't been closed, which isn't surprising. Orianna has ability to farm well, but this Kassadin is very scary. Bot lane is really even. The AD carries are very even in gold, actually. Only about 400 separating with objectives. And
Jarvan chooses to go and misses the knockup, get binded underneath their turret, taking a lot of damage. Exhaust is used.
Exhaust burned there. I don't know about that.
They're not going to re-engage. Nocturne is here. Kassadin doesn't know. The fear tether will go down. Binding does land. He gets feared up. He's going to die here. And Orianna picks up the gold. That's going to help her a lot in catching up. Nocturne still has his ultimate. Chooses to use it. Go onto Tristana. Tristana gets bound up.
Can't click on the lantern.
Unable to click the lantern and get away.
Really well done by Rise and Nocturne to just stand on top of Tristana, making it really hard for her to move, to attack who she wants, and to grab that lantern. She goes down.
So I think they're going to choose to push up mid here, considering that they got 2 for nothing.
Yep, this is a power play for the blue team, and although they're a little low on mana with regards to Caitlyn, they should be able to push this tower down no problem. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Ultimate on the flash. Binding does land. He's cut out here. He's going to use his ult, but I think he's going to go down. Chooses to flash. Another flash. Doesn't get the fear tether. He's not dead yet, but Caitlyn flashes forward, gets the kill. Kassadin is now back. Not going to fight. Kassadin chooses not to re-engage, which is probably the right decision. Just kidding. He goes back in. Lands the ignite. Tristana comes in for the cleanup. There's a teleport that we're seeing from the enemy Rise here. Jarvan comes in with his ultimate, jumps on, picks up a kill. Doesn't really do much more. Morgana's ultimate stuns up the Jarvan.
About this. They're just lining up to die.
Coming in one by one. That was really unfortunate. Penguin is coming in from the back, but he's not going to fight this. That was pretty ugly. The end result was still just a 2 for 2 though, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And they did save the inhib turret, but I think that would have been saved anyway. Sorry, 3 for 2.
A lot of people burned flashes to try and get that kill on Thresh, and when Jarvan came in, he was able to dump and just make a lot of people not really be able to move there.
So not counting the Thresh, that was a 2 for 2 fight with all that wideness, but they did pick up a turret mid, and they picked up Thresh. Rise had to use his teleport though, which could have been useful considering Dragon is coming back. Like, it's going to respawn in another minute.
The ward down. And they're not going to do anything about it. They're not going to clear the pink out either. Could be later.
So speaking of goal difference, we're seeing a shift. Blue side is in goal lead now. I don't think we've seen that before in this game.
Yeah, this is the first one of the entire game. They've been behind since the start. They went down.
Rise is kind of caught out. I think they should have gone into that had they had more vision, because they would have realized nobody there.
Rise is looking pretty scary. He's getting towards that frozen heart. Rod of Aegis is already fully stacked, and the Tear of the Goddess is giving him 700 mana right. He's getting into that late game. I'm just pump spells at you guys until you die kind of Rise. Interesting to see Orianna split pushing against Tristana though. I don't know. I think you really need Orianna in these team fights. A Shockwave providing a lot of the CC for this team fight.
So I think Purple Side is trying to make a push mid so that they have some pressure when Dragon respawns. Kassadin comes in with the ult, lands a Q onto Caitlyn, misses his slow, but Irelia chooses to flash. Caitlyn's getting focused by Irelia, goes down, Jarvan lands a nice ultimate onto Nocturne. Nocturne is going to go down as well. Kassadin survives after all of the damage that he took. Rise comes in with his ultimate slightly late, isn't able to do anything, and that's pretty much free Kate and Nocturne for blue side. Rise gets caught out by Jarvan. Orianna picks up a kill from the back onto Tristana.
A great window for the red team to fight there. Rise had just gone back to buy his Frozen Heart, wasn't with the team. Orianna was up in top lane, had just backed, and you can see it, 5v3 there, and they pick up 2 kills, or pick up 3 kills, and they just lose 1.
And they're gonna pick up Dragon 2 here.
Yep, the gold lead is now back into the red team's favor with the tower difference to show.
So what was surprising is that Kassadin wasn't able to get onto Caitlyn. It actually required Penguin flash queuing as Irelia. Regardless, very worth. Kassadin was taken low by Rise, but he didn't die. He's pretty damn tanky.
I think Kassadin was actually more of a bait because he caused the fear tether and a lot of the peeling to be used onto him. He just Zanya's, avoids a lot of the damage, and Irelia gets free kill there. So well played by the red side.
Nocturne actually used his ultimate and kind of moved a few centimeters on the screen because he targeted. See that ward? It's a nice ward. Anyway, blue side's going for Baron, and purple side just back. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get here in time.
They might actually not have vision. They can't contest. No.
That's a late dive from Tristana. Gets the ult onto Rise, making some insect plays with Trist, but that's unfortunate. So that was a really good play by Blue. Really good decision choosing to go for Baron, knowing that purple side wasn't close by enough to do anything about it.
Yep. Great counterplay. And they've retaken the gold lead. This game is starting to get interesting. Jarvan's so low. Wow, great flash there. Irelia had moved forward to tank damage, but Jarvan flashing out of that shockwave that Irelia could not have punched for him. Speaking of Irelia, Triforce, Blade of the Ruin King, extra. Are we going to see some tank items soon? I'd like to.
I think that what you said about Jarvan not building tanky early enough is actually starting to cost purple side a little bit, because every time he goes in, though he gets kills or he secures kills for his team, he does die every single time as well, because there's no front line.
I'll do Lizard a little bit better for making impactful ganks in the early to mid game, but they had a 4 kill lead, and they weren't able to.
Jarvan goes in with the EQ onto the enemy Rise, but Rise is tanky as hell. Irelia tries to go in. Caitlyn's just getting to do free damage from the back here, and they pick up 3 kills for nothing. I think that was really poor communication or something, because Jarvan.
Look at Tristana right now, farming the white camp when the team is being pushed in, and
Jarvan
just
went in
defending.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose this in him too.
Jarvan went in prematurely, I think.
Yeah.
He tried to force that a little bit and paid for it massively.
I don't really know what Tristana is doing. They're gonna win the game if she doesn't come back. They know she's there. They pinged it, and yep, just Thresh has gone down. It's Tristana versus the world. Jarvan's about to spawn. 1 Nexus tower down, and I think they're gonna back off. They got what they came for. That tower, the inhib, and the Nexus tower. Hell, I'm very confused by this Tristana's play. The sub
Communication errors for sure. Jarvan going in.
So let's look at the priority targets now for each side. I think Kassadin is obviously needs to be killed because it's all about protecting this pretty fed Caitlyn. 9, 2, and 4. Gonna go back and buy some goodies. She's got 3k gold to spend.
She came up huge. JJ Bros and JL coming up giant in that previous fight. Nobody was able to get to him, and he was just standing in the back, dishing out damage with his IE, ripping through purple side, getting a double kill, I think, helping securing 3 for his team.
And everyone peeling for Caitlyn. Irelia wasn't able to just dive in and insta-kill Caitlyn with all of the damage she's built up. Instead, Caitlyn just continues to shoot her. Eventually, she gets the kill. And yeah, blue team looking really strong right now with that Baron buff. Wow, what is Tristana doing?
What a god.
Barely gets away.
What a god.
Flash burn from Ryze.
What? 10 out of 10.
That was a little bit of a questionable play.
But wow. Picks up double buffs and gets Ryze's flash for nothing.
So,
I'd say it was worth.
I think it was really risky. What the hell is she doing? Looking for a red buff to steal?
Yeah, I think so. What's
now? I'm very confused by this Tristana play.
So blue side is not going to be able to push top to their heart's content because they weren't even able to get the outside turret. But now they're going to be able...
is literally farming the jungle right now while blue side is pushing the towers. I don't know about this Tristana play right now. I'm really starting to question it. They did very well in the team phase. Tristana just hasn't been there for the team when they needed her. I'm gonna buy some, looking to build towards that IE. I think that Last Whisper is really important though.
So blue side is a lot more wave clear than purple side does. Sure. So pushing up will be a lot easier for blue than it is for purple. And it doesn't help that they already have their giant minions making their way towards the only other remaining Nexus turret. Dash lands a hook onto Ryze. I don't think he wants to go into
target.
Yeah.
Just
a lot of armor.
Look at this Ryze though. He is officially reached late game I'm a god status. That Steris, got Frozen Heart, got Rod of Ages. He's just gonna run at you, kill you, and you aren't gonna be able to do a damn thing about it.
Face roll.
Let's see if Jarvan can really make a play though. If Jarvan can get to like a 5-man ult or something, let's see if they can clean up. The only problem is they don't have enough AoE damage on this team. Maybe if someone like Jinx or maybe Shyvana to get some extra AoE damage, but I don't know, you're just like preventing them from moving. And Tristana hasn't reached late game god status. Look at her items.
But she will be set to get the waves off of the Nexus start, which will give her a lot of fun. Kassadin goes in, uses his Orianna, able to pick up the Caitlyn. There's an incredible Orianna ultimate on the 3 people that dived in together, and that basically stops them from being able to kill anybody else after they got the Caitlyn. So Orianna coming up huge there, saving the Morgana from going down as well as the Caitlyn. That was a bit of a surprise engage. I didn't really expect it, but they went for it anyway.
A good idea, but Morgana ulting immediately, locking things, getting them with immediate slow, preventing... Wow, Tristana burning her heal to get away. And they're going to take this in hit.
That Orianna ultimate, along with the Morgana ultimate, really destroyed that potential engage there.
Ryze using Q on a minion instead of Tristana. That might have been the kill. I really think it was the kill.
And this will be the third...
300 HP, Ryze would have done...
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Well, maybe not. Wow, yeah, Ryze would have killed if that Q had connected with her.
So the third inhib is going to be saved by Mizder here, I think. But 2 inhibs down is a lot of pressure when your only remaining Nexus turret is below half health. And it doesn't help that Baron will be spawning in a minute and Dragon's already up. So this is going to be a lot of free objectives for blue side. Their gold lead is huge now. Almost 8,000 gold.
I'm surprised that Caitlyn has chosen to build a Bloodthirster here. I think sticking with the Vamp Scepter would have been okay in lieu of getting some defensive items. They've got plenty of damage with Orianna and Ryze and Nocturne. A little bit more survivability for their AD carry. I think a little bit better of a priority here. And Baron's set to respawn really soon. Let's see what they do. Red team with double inhibs down, I don't think they can contest this. They don't have vision anyway. Blue side gonna start up this Baron, and red side they're gonna have to concede this. Blue easily picks up the Baron. Tristana finishes that third item. Deep, are you back? Yeah, you've crashed. Alright, I'm gonna take over then. Blue team pushing S5, forcing their way down the mid lane. And I think they're about to take this game. One desperate fight left from red side, and then...
Alright, I'm back. Cool.
Welcome back. Blue side, ramming down...
third inhib.
Lane. They're gonna get this third inhib easily, and then once super minions has started swarming in, they've already... I think this game is over.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that could really change this, considering blue side still has every single one of the inhib turrets up, and purple side barely has their nexus turrets up. Though these do regen over time. It's gonna take somewhat of a miracle for purple side to come back into this game. So item-wise, Jarvan was only able to pick up 2 tank items after the Spirit of the Elder Lizard. If he had opted for the Ancient Golem, he would have had a significant amount of more tankiness, which would have given his team a better chance of surviving their dive. Flash lands a hook, goes in with his ultimate. Orianna lands an incredible ultimate again, stopping the dive from successfully getting to Caitlyn. Caitlyn is again at the back, dishing out free damage, picks up Jarvan for free, flashes in, tries to secure a triple kill but fails. This is most likely game with the ace coming in.
Well, very, very well played by the blue team here. Good game.
Yeah, wow, well played.
Double explosion OP.
Yeah, did you get that too? Okay, it wasn't just me then.
Alright, so did you get my Skype message?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so what we saw there was a pretty long game for what it could have been in terms of how quickly purple side was able to pick up an advantage earlier on. What was unfortunate though was that they weren't able to continue having this advantage and snowball from there. Instead, the goal lead sort of went from being somewhat similar to on purple side back to being somewhat similar. And then at one point, blue side had an incredible fight, and they secured a dragon, which was able to put them in the lead of the game. But purple side was able to come back into it by engaging in the bottom side of the blue side jungle, picking up 3 kills and going toward a turret. This brought purple side again in the lead. But while they were doing that, they were really slowed it back, and blue side picked up an essentially free Baron with a random guy jumping in there right at the end, dying along with the Baron. And this sort of just went from them picking up a Baron because they could to them winning the game, even though they were basically behind in gold at that time. So that Baron was pretty much the turning point, I think, for this game, because not only was Caps. Not only was blue side behind in gold at that exact specific moment when they went for the Baron, but they were able to snowball that Baron sieging advantage into a ball lane inhibitor because Tristana was oddly placed and purple side kind of forced an engage and then go top and continue pushing top. And since they were able to push a lot faster given the wave clear that they had, the game was pretty easy from there for blue to close out, even though purple was in the lead right before that happened. So let's discuss MVPs. What do you think, Dan?
I'm gonna give it to Evangelion's Kassadin.
For purple team.
Yep, I think they really made an impact with the early game. Usually weak compared to a lot of champions, but was able to be a real threat, keep Orianna from really making an impact until really late in the game, when I think that Tristana was out of position a lot, wasn't with the team, got killed a few times, and I don't know, the communication just really seemed off there.
Yeah, I think that between Mizder and Penguin were somewhat on the same page along with Kassadin for most of the game, but there was some severe miscommunication with Tristana. That might be a factor of Tristana being a substitute as well. But yeah, I think in terms of MVP, I agree with your pick for Evangelion because he was able to come he was able to do a lot, at least during the early game. He made some good rotations and roams, going top to help Aurelia pick up a few kills and really dominate the lane against Ryze. What about blue side? Who do you think was the real MVP here? Because everybody somewhat did a really good job in their position at the end of the game, at least, and came up huge for their team. Orianna had some stunning ultimates. Caitlyn dished out a shit ton of damage from the backline. Nocturne just carrying as a Nocturne would. Ryze became the whole late game force that you talked about, and he's just face rolling everybody. And Morgana had some really good Zonias and ultimate combinations. So, who would you give that one to?
So the numbers I would say would tend to give it to Caitlyn, but I feel like Caitlyn wasn't able to really, really have a forceful impact on the game until, their whole team started grouping and fighting just with better coordination, I think, than the red side did. And I think she picked up a lot of kills at the end by mopping up. And
what do you think about Ryze? He was severely pressured at the start of the game.
right,
Lots of ganks from
really,
Kassadin.
really came back, though.
Yeah. So I think he deserves.
Can only be held back for so long, and came back with a vengeance.
So I think he deserves at least one of our MVP votes.
Yeah, I would have to. I don't think I would. I think I would be stuck between giving it to Orianna and giving it to Ryze. I'm gonna have to give it to Ryze.
Okay, so I definitely agree with the Ryze, but I think that the second I would like to give the second MVP vote to someone else.
Maybe. Caitlyn.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to the Caitlyn, not only because of the damage, but JJ Bros' positioning was pretty stellar.
Yeah.
Between him using his heal at the exact right time with his E, barely surviving, either with the help of his team or just sheer luck from the dive of the purple side, he was able to dish out a ton of damage against a team that's so dive heavy, and definitely deserves credit for his positioning and the choices that he made as an AD carry.
Yeah, if we look at the damage dealt to champions, we had Ryze leading, obviously, because it does just so much AoE damage. And Caitlyn coming in pretty close, 25,000 damage. Came back from a small deficit in the early game and was able to position smartly, get some good damage, pick up some clean kills. And yeah, I would say Caitlyn and Ryze are our MVPs.
All right, so that ends the cast for today. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to go through our entire pre-game show or whatever, but if we cast again together, which we hopefully will, you guys should be ready for that. But thanks for tuning into today's game. That was E.F.C on blue side, getting up a stunning turnaround victory against purple sides, which was Shrek 5 the musical. That was Dan, SSBM, Zooster, Zoo casting with me, Depp. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and good luck for the rest of the UPSL games.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, peace out.